Good afternoon, Facebook community and Safe Harbor Facebook community. I'm Jennifer Noreen with Beyond Brand Collective, and I'm here with Marie Pettie of Safe Harbor Property Management and Zsofia Pasztor. Help me with the pronunciation.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
And Zsofia is with Farmer Frog, which is a nonprofit that Marie sits on the board of. And since I am the innocent bystander here, I know nothing about Farmer Frog yet. I'm just going to let Zsofia take the show and tell us about what you do, and then we'll talk about how Marie is partnering with you. So good afternoon, ladies. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Nice to see you guys. Yeah, hi, Marie. It's been a while. Yeah. So COVID, right? COVID changed pretty much everything, and we haven't had an in-person board meeting for a long time. And so when I answer what Farmer Frog is doing, it's before COVID and then after COVID, because it all changes. Before COVID, we were mostly an educational nonprofit doing a lot of hands-on learning using edible gardens and outdoor spaces as classrooms. And grew a lot of food with students and teachers and families, shared that out, and it went home in backpack programs. It went home with various student and food pantry programs. We would share it with local food banks and the YMCA and all of those things. But the education piece was always the center of it, because the best way to learn actually is being outside and looking at what nature is doing. Nature, when we're talking about this big mysterious STEM, STEM program, science, technology, engineering, and math, well, you walk out into the forest or you go out on a farm and it's STEM. Everything is STEM. And that's what we were doing. So we also have Clock Hour providing teacher externships for teachers to learn how to use these spaces and train and work with kiddos who are from preschool all the way to postgraduate level. We have research projects too. And our headquarters is in Woodinville. It's Paradise Farm, and it's really living up to its name for sure these days now. Paradise Farm is a very unique place. It is a ceremonial ground for the native Coast Salish tribes for time immemorial. We are on the headwaters to Bear Creek there. And then in the 1870s, a family from Wales homesteaded there. So they fenced around the site and started a dairy farm there. In the 2005-ish year, the family decided that they don't want to sell it. And they wanted to actually see it preserved. And it turned into Paradise Valley Conservation Area. And part of the agreement is that the life estate, which is 31 acres, stays in care of education and agricultural use. So Farmer Frog put in a proposal 6 years ago, and we got it accepted. And we started in 2015 restoring this place and make it our headquarters. Today, it's quite something. We are now working on the farmhouse restoration, which to me is like the last big project. The farmhouse is from the 1880s.
Oh my goodness.
But, we growing a lot of food. We put up hoop houses. We are working on the planting now for next season, 8 hoop houses total. So it's a lot of space. We have a gazillion beds, food forests, everything that you can imagine. And our real important work actually lies in building community, and with our tribal member board of directors members, we started reaching out to the tribes 5 years ago. And so we now actually can say that there is quite a well developing and growing work there with local tribal partners, and it's beautiful to really experience it. So that's what the headquarters is, Paradise Farm. And we would have events, festivals out there. Usually Saturdays were big always for music. We'd have cookouts, gatherings. summer camp and after school camp, schools coming for hands-on learning. And I tell you, I told the board last in our January meeting, we've never been this prepared than we were for 2020. This is going to be our year. We have every weekend planned out. Everything is all configured. We are all set. So then came March. And bam, everything got closed. Our school gardens shut down. No more summer camps, no more after school program, no restaurant sales, no events, no festivals, nothing. And when it started out, it was actually really strange. It was just really this quiet moment. And we started getting some calls from some of our older elder board of directors like Sudhir, Marie, and a couple others who are in isolation because they are high risk, and they wanted to know if we could help them with some fresh produce. So we started taking some produce to them, no contact and delivery. And so we kept adding to that, and that is actually something that we still do. We deliver food out to folks who cannot leave the home, and many of them have been in isolation now since February, and it's very hard. And then in May, end of April actually, we got a call from one of our team members who saw this post and said that there is a group who's coming back with potatoes, going out for potatoes to the Otello area. Can they use some crates from the farm? And when they come back, can we use the potatoes that they're gonna bring back? So by then, we've had network partnerships before. We were already at 200 households who we were supporting with the deliveries. So I said, sure, we have crates they can take, and we can definitely just, use the potatoes. So that was on May 1st, and we received a little less than 20,000 pounds of potatoes and onions mixed. I distributed that in a couple of hours and told everybody that we need more. So then the year sort of went on, and we started distributing in real intense terms. We partnered up with the National Tribal Emergency Management Council. So we are actually supplying to a lot of the local teams. East West Food Rescue was born out of this delivery, and we are partnered, Farmer Frogs partnered with East West Food Rescue as well. And there were lots of convoys going out to Otello, coming back, and now we are bringing food in other ways from farmers directly purchased or gleaned. It varies. We have partnership with Culturas Unidas, the food network, which is a very big program for our local Hispanic families and teams.
What is it called again?
Culturas Unidas.
How do you spell that?
CULTURAS. And then UNIDAS, Food Network. And then we also partnered with the International Nutritional Sustainable Partners and also Badger Hole Farms. They are a Redmond organization. And
Badger
Hole Farms is doing a lot of work. And
Badger, H-O-L-E?
Yeah, W. And then H-O-L-E, yeah.
H-O-L-E.
Oh, nice. So you are primarily a functioning farm, and
we are a functioning farm, but we're doing all this distribution. And, all of these partners are really amazing. Silent Task Force from Seattle, Nakani Native programs. There are just so many people. There's also South Sound Nighthawks. Oh my gosh, Tom comes 4 times a week and picks food up. And so we are supplying to almost 2 million Washingtonians at this point.
2 million?
And, yes. And we moved since May. Our collaborative team moved since May over 30 million pounds of food.
Okay, so over 2 million pounds of food since May, this last May.
Over 30 million pounds of food.
Over 30 million, and you are serving 2 million Washington residents with fresh food. So is that produce only, like vegetables and fruit, or is it
everything at this point? We have meat, we have cooked meat, we have raw meat, we have dairy. We purchase it, it comes in frozen, we hand it out right away. They take it in their refrigerated systems, and it goes back to homes. So we don't sit on food. We don't have a warehouse. We work with refrigerated trailers and containers, and we don't sit on stuff. So we get anywhere from 100 to 200,000 plus pounds of food a day, and then we move that. So our daily volumes are really large, multiple semi-truckloads coming in and going out.
Wow. And so,
yeah.
so are you taking that food to a distribution center in a community, and then the community knows that's where they can go to get food?
Our site is the distribution center. So Farmer Frog functions now as a logistic hub. And we have community centers and churches and tribal organizations come to us and with trucks, and we load them. They take it to their groups. And we also deliver with partnership with the National Tribal Emergency Management Council. We have deliveries going out also to direct to tribes and such. And we have actually the Latter Day Saints came. The elders are coming, and they are amazing. So this Saturday alone, that group had over 40 or 50 drivers, and they took food, everybody in their vehicles, smaller vehicles and larger vehicles, a huge convoy, and they took food to the Marshallese community, to the various churches, and also to the tribes on the peninsula. So, that's just Saturday, and it's just really
wow.
good. And then we also, with the National Tribal Emergency Management Council, we're able to help tribes now in 32 states total.
You have tribes that you serve in 32 states?
And that was possible because of the USDA Farmer to Family Boxes program. So what we had done with that is, when that program became available.
Is it farm to family?
Farmer to family. Farm to family too. I mean, depends. Some call it farm to family, others farmer to family. The official name is farmer to family. And that came available late May, early June. And then we got a call from the Washington State Department of Agriculture that we should, look into that, because we were looking for food everywhere. And those food boxes changed over the course of the year, but when those became available, we actually started helping organizations get that in other states too, as well as, in our area. So today, for example, what we have going on at the farm is we are expecting a delivery of mixed produce, and that comes to us from Emergency Food Network. The transportation is provided by Culturas Unidas. We have also dairy goat donation arriving with various milk products. We have these USDA combo boxes coming in. We had one load coming in from Cascadian Produce, and we already have from various sources. We have beets that we gleaned. We have purchased East West Food Rescue had actually purchased spaghetti squash and kabocha squash. We had picked up some carrots, and Farmer Frog purchased some pork loin. And it's just, all of it is there, so it's all going out right now. Yeah. We close at 4.
So Zsofia, how long have you been involved with Farmer Frog, or were you the founder of Farmer Frog?
I'm one of the founders. Yeah.
Okay. And it was originally created to be a STEM location, or was it originally created?
Originally, it was just to feed people. So we're running full circle. The last crisis, 08, 09, a lot of businesses went under, and a lot of families lost their home and living. And we had a bunch of households where they just didn't have anywhere to go. So they stayed in their cars at the elementary school where our kids were going. And the teachers knew that, because I'm a horticulturist by profession, and the teachers knew that we always grew some food, and asked if maybe my husband and I could help them to grow some for the families. And that started right here, December 2009 were the first discussions, and then we went in there. And on January 5th, 2010 is when we first started cutting blackberries. So we are coming up to the 11th anniversary. And by summer, we were feeding 700 families out of there regularly, that school garden. And so that's how it started. And then we kept adding school gardens to it because people needed food. And then when we realized that in order for the students to participate, it had to be part of the curriculum. We started teaching teachers so that they can also participate and know how to use a classroom. Because, actually we talk gardens and all, but it's really not, people don't grow up in gardens anymore. And so it's not that easy. Oh, here is a garden, just go use it and teach it. We need to show how that's done. And then started working with the teachers and helping to come up with curriculum that's Common Core compliant and standard based, and they can use it. So we evolved into this educational program over time and found our real strength. And myself being an educator as well, it just was a really good fit. And then here we are. When COVID calms down, I'm very sure we're going to be heading back to the outdoor classrooms again and do a lot of work with that.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's still who we are. It's just right now we always helped people. In the past we used to think 25,000 people who we fed a year was a lot, and so now it's just the numbers changed this year.
And you're in Everett, correct?
We are in Everett, and the headquarters is in Woodinville. School sites are all over, and Marie and Ed Gregory down in the Tacoma area, and us, we've been talking about and working on finding a way to really start something like Paradise Farm in Woodinville down in the Tacoma area too. And so this was gonna be the year on that too. But we have now so many strong partnerships in place and really built a wide collaborative that I think as COVID comes, we are going to have not one but a lot of places in.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
And Tacoma.
How did the two of you meet?
Well, I met Zsofia in an experiential learning environment. We were both taking the same class. We didn't know each other at the time, but we got to know each other during that experience. And I was attracted to Zsofia just because of the dynamics of what she's doing and the fact too that I also am a farmer and have a farm in Mississippi. And so we just kind of did a connection there, but that's how we first met in that environment.
Got it. And so how long have you been on their board?
It's been a couple years now, at least.
I think, 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, I just can barely take this all in. That's so cool. It's amazing. So, so farms that are feeding the community around the grocery stores, essentially, right? So the food is delivered to centers, or do you also do home delivery, or is it to centers only?
Oh, but we do everything. We do home deliveries too. We get calls daily from organizations and people who need this. And COVID is getting really hard right now, really. I mean, we are still just seeing a lot of fallout. People are still in the phase of losing jobs or, not having unemployment. I'm really looking forward to this new support package coming from DC because we're gonna need everything. And it's just so sad, and people who are high risk, they really are. Some of them, they haven't been outside for so long. And when our drivers show up, we have a bunch of routes. And when our drivers show up, it's really the connection. So, that's, they have, the weekly conversation with somebody across the window or, on the phone because it's still a no contact. So, yeah, we do that too. And, it's just an interesting world. But I have to say that to me, this year is really about coming together. A lot of people say that, oh, we never been more divided. And yes, it's true on one hand, but on the other hand, we've witnessed so many beautiful people coming forward and helping. And we have a lot of young people on the crew who are working hard every day, even in this pouring rain. They are out there and moving food and helping and working hard. And one of them said once, it's really beautifully said. She said she feels that she met the best of humanity because she sees people who drive for hours every day to take food to someone they've never met before. You know? And that's really true.
Yeah. We have all those things in common, don't we? Our need for nutrition and security and connection. Yeah. I've heard that from other sources too, that a lot of the delivery of goods and things to the people that are isolated, or the food delivery is sometimes the only person they're talking to during the day. Right. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. So will the volume of food that you produce change when the COVID shifts and we have a less need, or will you continue to function at the same?
At first, it actually went down because we were so in the spring we produced a lot, and then when this partnership with East West Food Rescue started to really move forward, we were so involved in the moving of the food. Plus, in the beginning we would be getting potatoes that were loose, and construction dump trucks would be bringing them and just dumping them out. So you are on this 200,000 pounds of potato mountain, bagging everything into smaller bags so you can give it to people, and and doing it all in COVID, social distancing with volunteers, and it was just so hard. And now it was somewhat easier because we have some things boxed and other things in manageable ways. It's different. We don't have dump trucks bringing stuff. So, but that was, we pelletized everything ourselves. And so we didn't have time to actually spend it on the farm. And so our production first went down. And then, then when this sort of settled out and we started to get more pelletized products on semi trucks instead of in dump trucks, it shifted again. And then we started growing greens because we find that I can get root crops, I can get the squashes, I can get, a lot of different things, but leafy greens are hard to transport and keep it fresh. And that is something that's needed. So we really went into that in the fall. And right now we have a bumper crop of watercress in our aquaponics systems. And so that is going out. We are planting cold winter leafy greens as well that will be, even in cold weather like this, will be slowly growing away. So early spring, we will have a lot of that, depending on weather. But, hopefully by February, we'll have a really good, solid amount. And I think, that's what we are looking at when looking at what seeds to purchase too, and how to prepare for next year. We are building a bunch of beds and adding new growing areas for leafy greens. And I think that will be the most important added ingredient. And then we'll see how the crops shift. Of course, we always will have tomatoes and other things as well. But I think that's, our focus right now is going into that. And then the other thing is poultry, because we added a lot of chickens and a lot of poultry. So we always wanted to have more of them, but this year we really did, which helps actually a lot of our team members who come out, and then they can take some of the eggs home. And we got the USDA butchered, so it's labeled and it's official because we took it to Carnation Farms, and the USDA butcher Mary Jo did a fabulous job butchering turkeys and ducks and roosters. And because Farmer Frog is the farm is a salmon safe certified farm and a wildlife wise certified farm, the turkeys are heritage, pasture raised, salmon safe, all these different things. And I'm just looking at that label and I'm just in awe. Mm-hmm. So we'll have some plans for that next year too. And we are also looking at how to partner with more teams in the area so we can have local food and help farmers better. East West Food Rescue, for example, and us ourselves too, be buying food from local farm sources in Washington as much as we possibly can. Mm-hmm. And looking into that, Culturas Unidas is connecting to local food producers as well, and The National Tribal Emergency Management is thinking about it too. All of our partners really are, because, you know, we have 11 years, we spent 11 years on working and talking about preventing the crisis that we are in right now. When Marie and I talked about farming initially, it was, let's show people, let's teach people, let's create learning centers so that they can take it and go home and do affordable food growing, because we knew our food system is vulnerable. And we actually didn't need a COVID, you know. I mean,
to know that. Sure.
Yeah. And so now here it is. The crisis is real, and the supply chain is collapsing, and the global chain is collapsing, and transportation is becoming an issue as well. It's just we have to be more focused on our local, and we have to support our local teams, local farmers, and really be conscious of it on small and large scale. Large scale would be, let's help each other in the national realm, but there's no need, for example, for Florida to ship apples to Washington State, right? Let's feed the apples that are produced by the Florida farmers to Florida, and let's find areas and places where people can affordably have access to land and grow food. You know, like the school gardens. Imagine if in an urban environment, every apartment complex, every hospital area, every school, every public space had food in it.
Right. Public gardens. Yep.
Yeah.
That's an amazing vision. So much has been shared. So you are distributing food, you're educating kids on how to do farming, and you are you're taking donations from providers. Like I heard you mention Dairy Gold and others, but you're also producing food. So you're taking in and also producing. You're working with the tribes. You're working across denominations and all different kinds of organizations. And are you Washington State only, or do you ship out of state, or is this right now Washington State only?
So the food that we acquire here stays in this state. When we are helping others in other states, because we have partnership in multiple states now, and it's various suppliers and producers or packing houses even, then we connect those groups to their own state population. So we try to keep the food, you know, as within the area, service area as it's possible.
Got it. Which is healthier anyway, for people to eat their own local food. Sure. Well, thank you. This has been really fascinating. Marie mentioned, you know, we try to show the different ways that our clients are giving back to the community. And this is a perfect example of Marie running a profitable, wonderful business serving community. And she, just the nature of what she does is serving her community, but also being connected to organizations like Farmer Frog and helping you help more people. So Marie, do you, I know you sit on the board. Do you do some of the on the ground work? Are you mostly financially supporting them, or what is your involvement with Farmer Frog?
Well, in the past, prior, pre-COVID, I am on the board, and then also my daughter is on the board, Celeste, too. She was able to go to some of the farmers markets here in Tacoma. I do, and we also attended some of the live board meetings prior to that. And we also had the opportunity to go to one of the farms that existed in Tacoma. And I took my granddaughter there, and she had such a good time. She was just a little farmer girl. We were doing, different work there. So we do have boots on the ground, and we try to do as much as we can on the board too. Going forward.
Right. Nice. That's incredible. Well, we will definitely follow up with some information about Farmer Frog. More than on Marie's bio on safeharborrents.com, we talk about her involvement, but we will include some information. We have an area of the website that talks about organizations that Marie and her team support. So we'll definitely be adding that for sure. You're welcome. And is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up? Just about, I guess, if someone is in need or an organization is in need, how do they contact you? And then as you're telling me, I will put that up on the screen.
They can go on our website and fill out our contact us form, farmerfrog.org.
Can you tell me that? How do you spell your last name, Zsofia?
Pasztor.
Is S. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fixing that. Okay, so go to your website, and what else?
Yeah, and fill out the contact us page.
Okay.
And then they can let us know what their particular situation is, and we'll find a way to help. And Marie, I really want to thank you. It's just, and it's so good to see you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It will be good to hug again. Oh my gosh, don't
We're
you miss that the
kindred,
most?
kindred spirits, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting. So again, this is Jennifer Noreen. I'm here with Marie Pettie of Safe Harbor Property Management and Zsofia Pasztor. And she is the leader and founder, one of the founders of Farmer Frog, which is an organization feeding 2 million people in Washington right now and delivering 30 million pounds. Is that right?
We have shared that over 30 million pounds now since May
During
1st. But again, it's not just Farmer Frog. I really want to tell everybody that not one person can do this. Not
Sure,
one
it's a conglomeration of organizations.
Thousands of people, hundreds of organizations, and amazing people in the community. And we got to celebrate that, because coming together in a year like this is, I think, the greatest achievement. Really.
Yeah, you're mobilizing organizations and people on behalf of people that need food.
Yeah,
and you're just kind of a conduit of all of that happening. That's apparent in what you were sharing. So, well, very good. I'm excited to hear from you and know what Marie's been doing.
Oh yes, I just wanted to thank Zsofia for taking her time in her busy schedule to let us know what she's doing currently, and let our Facebook community know. And I just wanted to thank her.
Yes, thank you for taking time out of your schedule, Zsofia, for sure. And I've got the website up on the screen now. And if there's ever anything else that I can do or we can do better for you, or get the word out about a special event, or anything that changes coming out of COVID, hopefully we've seen the worst of it. Please, please let us know, because we do have the communication channels of Safe Harbor Property Management's website, their social media channel. We do an email newsletter every month out to her current clients. We also do some communicating with her prospective clients. So there's all different ways that we can just pop a message in there. I think everybody wants to be helping. We have so much abundance in our state, and we work with so many people that are not. I know Marie and I talk about this, that we work with clients and people that are not struggling quite as much. I mean, certainly we are working with some that do, but in the real estate market, in the rental market, thankfully it's been okay. But I know that we are in a unique pocket, right?
Yes.
And that's not the whole pocket, for sure. Yeah. So it's good to hear from you and to let our audience hear. And we'll be putting this video up on YouTube, and I'll mark it with a, kind of a summary of what it is you do. So, and your website. So you're welcome. Thank you. And nice to meet you, Zsofia. And we'll be talking again.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.